This is Shifting Our Schools episode 121, The Power of Ownership in Distance Learning.
Listen up, educators. Are you looking to take your classroom to the next level? The technological shift in education is happening right now. If you're looking to integrate technology into your classroom, you're in the right place. Welcome to Shifting Our Schools with your host, Jeff Udick.
Well, welcome back to another episode of Shifting Our Schools. Thank you for tuning in this week. I hope this podcast finds you safe and healthy as we all navigate our way through this COVID-19 crisis. It has been an incredible ride for me personally. I went from having all my contracts canceled to having all those schools reach out to me and find a way to honor their contracts in some way, which I am eternally grateful for. I went from getting them all back on my calendar to ending up creating trainings for over 2,200 educators and counting across the state of Washington. Working with the state educational service districts, friends, and amazing educators, it has been an honor to serve my state and to serve educators, to create a system of distance learning that is showing results. If you didn't listen to my virtual keynote in episode 120, I strongly encourage you to do so. This is the three-phase system we are rolling out across the state, a system that focuses first on the emotional well-being of our students and families before moving into research-based distance learning systems that work. Everything in the coming weeks will be focused on this, of course, as schools across the world navigate this new era of education we find ourselves in. And that brings me to this week's stream of consciousness, as my colleague Stefan Troutman calls it. I know that many of you work with families and students who come from poverty. One thing we need to remember is that what we're really fighting is not, quote-unquote, kids not wanting to do the work, but a mindset. A mindset that is not easy to overcome when it's being reinforced at home. And now, we do not get to take students away from that and work on a growth mindset. A book that changed my teaching practice forever was A Framework for Understanding Poverty, A Cognitive Approach. You can find the link in the show notes below. This book focused on the mindset of those in poverty and how that mindset affects why they feel that, quote-unquote, life is done to them. That they feel that having no control or cannot control their lives. Therefore, in moments like this, when life literally is being controlled by others, they are in a, quote, see, I told you so, unquote, mindset. Then school tells them they have to do this assignment and that assignment, and now school is being done to them without their control. When humans feel like they do not have control over decisions in their life, they react in one of two ways. They either fight to get control back, or they shut down. Those coming from poverty often choose to shut down. No homework, no learning, not trying. Why try when you can't control it and you can't control the outcome? So why even try? So what we hear as teachers is, I don't care, I'm going to fail anyway. When we give students ownership over their learning, especially the path or choice of what they learn, we give them power. We say, hey, you get to choose something in your life, even if it's between these three options. Kids respond, families respond, and they start to feel like they have control over something, even if that something is just schoolwork. When we give choice in a crisis situation, like we are in now, we're not only supporting students, but we're supporting families in giving them back something they can control. In this case, what assignment can I help my child with? For those educators who didn't understand this before this crisis, this is going to be an uphill battle. I did not come from poverty, and I struggled to understand this mindset as it was not one I was raised with. I'm lucky that I married to an amazing school counselor who constantly made me focus on that fact, made me read that book, and it forever changed the way I approach and understand it. It's not that they don't want to do the work. They don't know how to think about doing the work. Someday, ask me to tell you my Apple story over a beer. It was when I finally got it. If nothing else, my hope is that we can help educators see that by giving students ownership over the path of their learning, otherwise known as choice, we are supporting all students, but especially those that come from poverty and homes that do not have the mindset that is needed to do school. And with that, I'll see you on the network.
Thanks so much for listening to this episode of Shifting Our Schools with your host, Jeff Udick. For more great content and to stay up to date, visit sospodcast.org, facebook.com/Jeff Udick, and on Twitter @JUdick. If you enjoyed today's episode, please leave a review and subscribe, and we'll catch you next time on Shifting Our Schools.